So here we go, 2008, August. I had numbness and tingleness in my feet, legs, and both of my hands. So at that point, like I said earlier, I did do some research on multiple sclerosis, and at that point, I'm like, this is my second episode. I must have it. I must have it. So here starts my journey here. I set up an appointment with a neurologist. Actually, I went to my family physician first. She referred me to a neurologist, and I went in, discussed my symptoms. They came back with two possibilities. They said, well, because you sit down at a computer desk all day, we want to test you for carpal tunnel. Could be carpal tunnel, or it could be MS. She was leaning more towards MS, and you know, and what she told me, because when I went in, I didn't see the neurologist. I saw an RN because the neurologist was out of the country on vacation. Okay, she told me, she said, "Sir, because you're a black man, black people don't do too well with multiple sclerosis." Now imagine hearing that. You know, imagine hearing that from a nurse to a disease that a disease that you're unfamiliar with, and they tell you, they immediately count you out before you can even get started on your treatment. She told me, "Hey, most African Americans with multiple sclerosis, the disease progresses faster than any other race." And she told me, patients that the black patients that they come in on stretchers, they come in wheelchairs, they just don't do well with it. But I wasn't going to accept that because I know that everyone can't have it. I mean, first of all, I've heard it before from someone else on TV before, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen with me. So even though that was a negative, it could have been true, but that was something I didn't want to hear, at that point. But anyway, I took the test. She ran me through a series of tests that day, and had me do a second MRI, and then I went down and to do a spinal tap and all that stuff. And the spinal tap and all the tests came back negative, but the MRI showed new lesions, and then I had a lesion on my spine, which I didn't have in 2007. So based on the fact that you know I had this is my second episode, and I had lesions consistent with someone with MS, he was able to reach a diagnosis of MS. And you got to keep in mind, MS is one of the most difficult diseases to diagnose because the symptoms mimic other diseases. So sometimes it can be very difficult to reach a diagnosis. Some people go years without getting diagnosed, but I was very fortunate to get an immediate diagnosis. So after that, after I got diagnosed, matter of fact, the day after my birthday, surprise, right? um, I chose a treatment, and I chose Copaxone for the simple fact that the other drug therapies, I didn't like the side effects. With the whole possibility of having liver damage, and then I didn't want to choose those therapies, so I chose Copaxone because to me it was the safer drug out of the other ones. And I've been on it ever since November. And I also take a series of vitamin supplements, and I try to do the best I can to manage this disease because that's all you can do. Um, everyone goes to the stage, why me? I don't understand why me. I still don't understand to this day why, as I'm talking to you, why something like this happened to me. I mean, when I was younger, I never imagined that I would get MS. Because I pretty much been a healthy guy all my life. So it was devastating, but I am more comfortable now because I know what it is and I know what I need to do to help manage it. So here I am in in April, and got diagnosed in October, And I'm, as I said, just trying to take it one day at a time and manage this disease, which can be frustrating at times. But um, life is hard. There's some people out there with a lot worse diseases than this. Believe me, they do exist. But it's very important to remain positive and to, have a good support system and to avoid stress. Very important to do those things I just named there. You know. And one thing I notice about this disease is that people who don't have it don't understand when you talk to them about your symptoms. Particularly my wife and my family. I mean, they ask me how you're doing, and I tell them it's like they really don't want to hear it, or they can't relate to it. Because people tend to look at me and they say, well, you don't look like you're sick, so therefore you're not sick. You know, and sometimes people see when you talk about your symptoms, they look at it as a sign of weakness, like you're not supposed to, you know, you're not supposed to uh, talk about what you're going through because if you do that, you're weak. I don't know. Those are the things I've noticed, and I can kind of understand how it feels to live with a chronic illness. Before I got diagnosed, I've known people with disabilities and chronic illnesses, and I kind of understand where they were coming from now. When they would talk to me about what they were going through, I understand now. But I hope you enjoyed my testimony, and those of you with MS, just keep in mind that there will be a cure. You know, if you think about it, back in the 80s, people who were diagnosed didn't have drug therapy. You know, and now we have drug therapy. Maybe in a couple of years we'll have a cure. Who knows? I hope that happens. But until that point, just remain positive and stay strong. Keep your head up. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to it. Just remember that. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to post down below, and I'll try to answer all questions. Or if you just want to share your story, feel free to do that, because it's very important to get your testimony out there. So you may influence or you may motivate somebody. So, oh yeah, let me tell you about this picture here. This guy's on top of a mountain or a hill, and I chose that picture because it represents victory. And I plan on having that with this disease. So again, hey, stay positive, stay strong, and God bless. Thanks for watching, and if you would like to subscribe, I'm going to try to put more videos out about this disease. So go ahead and subscribe to my videos, and have a great day.